What's going on YouTube? It's your boy HDK and welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we got something special. In this video I will be ranking and displaying all of my favorite Pokemon of all time. The way this works is you see every generation on the left, you click one of the normal boxes, you click one of the fire boxes, and it gives you the option for which Pokemon you can choose. And honestly, them giving you the option of which Pokemon is which type in which generation makes it a lot easier. To see which one is your favorite, all you do is click a couple of these to select your Pokemon, go over to the end right here, favorite, and then you choose which one you want to choose. This is pretty straightforward, not too much to do, not too much to think about, but there is a lot of Pokemon, so we're gonna have to get through this. Now, if you want to use this chart for yourself to determine your favorite Pokemon, I'll leave the link to this down in the description. But without further ado, let's just kick this off with Generation 1 for the normal types. Honestly, this list is not too impressive, not gonna lie. I'm either choosing Ditto or Snorlax, you feel me? I think Ditto has a lot of uses, or Eevee too. I think Eevee's a good one as well, but I feel like Snorlax is just the better option, or the best option, especially in this generation, so I have to choose Snorlax. Now you see, moving on to the fire types, it's honestly kind of obvious, but for me, it's a little bit close. I like Arcanine. I don't like Moltres that much. I honestly just gotta go with Charizard, bro. That's just the generic answer, not gonna lie. But he's also, he's looking like the best fire type mon in this generation. Water type, it's another obvious pick. You could go Gyarados or Lapras, but honestly, I'm saving Lapras for later. You gotta go with Blastoise, man. See, now for grass types, this list is honestly looking pretty weak, so it's gonna be another obvious answer, Venusaur. Now see, for electric type, a lot of you might not agree with my answer. Pikachu is so overrated. He only gets the shine he does because he's Ash's favorite mon in the show. I like Zapdos, I like Jolteon, but honestly, my favorite electric type from Gen 1 is Electabuzz. Moving on to ice type, you see there's only 5 of them, and remember how I said I was saving Lapras for later? Definitely Lapras. Now for fighting type, this list does look pretty weak, but honestly for me it's between Machamp and Hitmonchan. And I gotta give it the forearms over here, man. He just looks pretty cool. He just looks way cooler than Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan just looks like a regular human. Not gonna lie. Now for poison type in Gen 1, this list is pretty deep, I cannot lie. I do not like any of the Nidos, you gotta get rid of those, I don't like them. Venusaur, I feel like that would be another obvious answer. I might have to save that for later, just as a backup. I feel like Gengar would be an obvious pick. I feel like Beedrill is also a very cool Pokemon, not gonna lie. I honestly don't think I can give an answer on this one. This one's pretty difficult. Honestly, my favorite poison type in this generation, it's gotta be Gengar, just because, like, it has to be Gengar, right? Now for ground type, this is kind of a pretty interesting list. I didn't know that Golem was in Gen 1. You got Cubone, you got Marowak, you got Sandshrew, Sandslash, Diglett, and Dugtrio. But honestly, when you think about it, you gotta pick a Rhydon right here, because this man can learn Surf. That's kind of crazy. Now this flying type list is pretty diverse. You have fire types, you have normals, you have bugs, you have whatever. But honestly, for me, none of these Pokemon really do anything for me, not gonna lie. In all honesty, I just gotta give it a Dragonite. He's just the best on this list, I can't lie. Now my favorite psychic type, ooh, we got 2 of them. We got either Alakazam or Mewtwo for me. Honestly, I'm going to have to give it to Mewtwo just because of the difficulty it takes to get Alakazam, not gonna lie. If he was just a regular evolution, I would choose him, but I gotta give it to Mewtwo. Now for the bug types, this list looks pretty weak, but you got a Scyther there, so that kind of makes up for it. But I honestly just gotta choose a Beedrill, because you gotta choose a Beedrill on that list, right? Now for this list of rock types, you got a pretty decent amount of mons. You got a Golem, you got a Rhyhorn, you got a Kabutops, you got an Aerodactyl. But honestly, just off looks alone, I gotta choose Kabutops, because he has 2 weapons on him. That boy dangerous. Ghost type there's only 3. Like, it's only 1 evolution line. It's no brainer. You gotta choose Gengar. Dragon type's the same thing. You gotta choose big boy Dragonite. This boy in Gen 1 was unstoppable, bro. Literally the only dragon type in the game, the only counter to himself, basically. Dark types in this gen didn't exist, so I'm just going to skip over that. Steel types, you only have 1 option. All you have is a Magnemite and a Magnetone, so it's no brainer. Now for the fairies in Gen 1, I think Clefable is like a fairy in rock now, so I might have to choose that. Now for Gen 1 starters, you got Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Pikachu, and Eevee. For me personally, I'm gonna have to choose Charmander. I'm a fire type guy. I like fire types, not gonna lie. So I'm gonna have to choose Charmander. Now for gimmick forms, this is Mega Evolution and like G-Max forms, Dynamax forms, all of that in the new generation. So look at how fat this Pikachu is, oh my god. But honestly, for me, the ones I like the most are either this Alakazam or this Mewtwo. I know this Mewtwo is really strong. I unfortunately didn't get the chance to use it, I don't think. But I already chose Mewtwo, so I'm gonna choose Alakazam this time. Now my favorite Gen 1 legendary, honestly, it has to go to Mewtwo, bro. He's too diverse. so you can honestly learn almost every move. If not every move, you gotta choose Mewtwo there. Now, my favorite Pokemon overall from Generation 1. Who is it going to be? I feel like on this list, there's only like 1 or 2 Pokemon that really haven't been wanked to keep them relevant over time, and that's Dragonite and Mewtwo. I know Mewtwo has 2 Mega Evolutions or whatever, but like he didn't need it though. But honestly, I have a lot of Dragon bias. Now that I think about it, I do have a lot of Dragon bias, and my favorite Pokemon from Generation 1 is the one and only Dragonite. Moving on to Generation 2 normal types, we got a weak list as well. If I'm going off pure aesthetics alone, I'm either going Porygon or Ursaring. Because Ursaring just got an evolution recently, I'm going to pick Ursaring. Now, fire types. This list is weak. You got a mid-tier fire starter, you got a slug, like what are we doing? You got 3 dogs, you got this baby thing, and then you got a legendary. Like, there's not much to choose from in this generation when it comes to fire types, not gonna lie. I feel like out of necessity, you would need to choose a Cyndaquil as your fire starter just because of the lack of options at fire type, not gonna lie. And Cyndaquil was the starter I chose, so I'm going to have to pick Typhlosion for my fire type. For water type, this list is kind of deep, not gonna lie. You got a couple of bangers like a Kingdra, Quagsire, Suicune, Slowking, but in all honesty, you gotta pick the big boy Gator. He was a Croc and then is a Gator. Like, come on, bro, he's a Gator. For the grass types, this list is also looking very weak, not gonna lie. But I just looked down in the bottom right and seen that little big boy Celebi. I need to pick that one because of Meganium. Like, what are we doing? That's a terrible starter. Electric types. Now for this one, a water and electric type is honestly pretty good. But the electric type I used on my playthrough was an Ampharos, so I gotta choose that one. Ice types, there's barely any from this generation. It's honestly a terrible list. I honestly gotta pick Sneasel though. Gotta pick Sneasel. For fighting types, there's only 3, but honestly, I can deal with this. But these are honestly 3 bangers for fighting types. If any other Hitmon evolution came in this generation, I honestly would have chosen, but I'm going to choose Heracross right now. For poison types, we got a Crobat. Ooh, that's a good one. Quillfish, ew. Yeah, you gotta choose Crobat on this list. That's a no-brainer. For ground types, you got a Quagsire, you got a Gligar. Ooh, I forgot Gligar exists. I feel like Steelix is good too. You got a Larvitar and a Pupitar. But honestly, for this list, I gotta choose Gligar. Just look at it. Everyone looks the same, and then this big boy is just standing out right here. Now, for the flying types of this generation, you got a pretty good list. I feel like these 2 are very regular, no substance at all. But you got a Lady, and that honestly looks like a pretty cool mon to me. Bro gained some shoes in his evolution. Crobat, I feel like that's pretty regular to say. See, now I like Skarmory's design, but I feel like they could have done more with it. I feel like they could have, like, over the generations, I feel like they could have gave him a evolution or something. The fact that a Stingray is a flying type is kind of concerning to me, not gonna lie. RIP my boy Steve. But honestly, I'm only going to pick this one off potential alone. I gotta pick Togetic, just because of what it evolved into. Now for psychic type, you got every unknown, which I'm just not even going to look at. You got a Celebi, you got a Lugia. Honestly, for me though, I gotta pick between either Slowking or Espeon, and I don't like how much I had to suffer in Pokemon Violet to get a Slowking, so I'm going to choose Espeon. Now for bug type, you got a couple bangers here. You got a Fortress, you got a Scizor, you got a Heracross, you got a Ladiant. See, I didn't know they introduced Scizor in this generation, so I gotta pick them. Rock type, this list is honestly looking pretty weak, can't lie, but there's only one obvious answer. You gotta pick this region's pseudo legendary. There's no other choice. Ghost type, there's only one, so you gotta pick a Misdrevious or whatever it is. There's really only one dragon type in this generation, and it's a Kingdra. I honestly think it's a solid mon, but like, wow, only one? For dark types, we only got an Umbreon, a Houndoom, and a Tyranitar, and honestly, this is a no-brainer. Tyranitar. Now for steel types, we got a couple bangers. We got a Fortress, we got a Steelix, we got a Scizor, and we got a Skarmory. I'm gonna pick Scizor again though. New Gen 2 fairy types. I don't like any of these, not gonna lie, but I have to pick Togetic again, just off its potential. Now my favorite Gen 2 starter, I'm not gonna lie, I am a fire type guy, but if I'm going off just looks, I gotta pick Feraligatr or Totodile. Now Gen 2's gimmick forms, these honestly all look ridiculous, but I honestly gotta go for Ampharos though. It looks kind of angelic in a way. Thoughts? Now favorite Gen 2 legendary, all of these are very mid mons. I can't lie, all these legends, they don't really do anything for me, you feel me? But honestly, I gotta give it to Celebi though. I gotta give it to Celebi. Now overall, my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon on this list, who do we got? I feel like the only 2 Pokemon on this list that I've been happy to come across or been happy to receive from somebody has been a Gligar and a Togepi or Togetic. So honestly, I gotta pick Togetic, bro. Togetic kind of backpacked this list on 3 different times. Can't lie. Togetic is a solid Pokemon. Now for Generation 3, this is the generation of Pokemon I started on. I still never completed the original Pokemon Ruby, and I need to go back to do that. I've been thinking about that for a while. Now for the normal type list, you don't have anything really special, not gonna lie. You got a Tallow though. I caught a Tallow back in the day. I like that Pokemon. But honestly, if Slacking didn't have Truant as an ability, it'd be honestly really good, but I'm gonna still pick it. Now Fire type, this is honestly a no-brainer. This generation gave birth to some of the best starter types, so you gotta pick Blaziken. Water type, the same thing I said last time, but this list is pretty in-depth, not gonna lie, but still, I just caught a shiny Mudkip on Pokemon Violet. Gotta go with Swampert, man. Gotta go with Swampert. Grass type, this list isn't looking as in-depth as the water list, but it's looking deeper than the fire list, but I still gotta go with a Sceptile. Gotta go with it. Electric type, this list didn't come with anything. Came with no bangers. This is not a banger. This is not a banger, and I know bangers. I guess I'm gonna go with a Manectric, like, I guess. Now for ice types, this is kind of cool. I forgot what this walrus's name is, but I like it. I don't like you. I don't like Glalie, not gonna lie. And we got Regice. I think I'm gonna have to go with the walrus though. I forgot the walrus's name, but I think I'm gonna have to go with the walrus. Fighting types. Do I even need to say it? I'd even look either, and I just clicked them. Poison types, what we got? What we got? Bad list, not gonna lie. We got a, I forgot what that thing is, so irrelevant. We got a Roselia, got a Gulpin, Swalot, pause, and we got a Survivor. Like, this list sucks. I'm gonna pick Survivor though, just because it's the only black Pokemon on this list. Ground type, I don't need to say it, but there is some comp here. There is some comp here for the ground types. Definitely some comp. Having a Flygon here is kind of comp, but I'm gonna say Flygon for later. Groudon, I don't know why they changed Groudon's typing away from fire, but it's only ground type now, which is kind of weird. But you know I'm gonna choose Big Boy Swampert, man. Gotta choose Big Boy Swampert. Flying type, this list is mid. Yet again, this list is mid, but you got a couple bangers on there. We got a Big Boy Pseudo legendary, we got a legendary, we got an Altaria. Nice solid mons on this list. But honestly, I can't lie. Out of all of these, I love Rayquaza, not gonna lie. Just because it's a great mon. Psychic types in this generation. See, I always wanted a Ralts, Curlier, or Gardevoir. I wanted a Glade, really. But the fact that this generation had two pseudo legendaries is kind of crazy. This generation was really insane. But out of all of these psychic types, I'm going to have to choose Gardevoir. I gotta choose Gardevoir. Bug types for this generation, they all look terrible, but an Armaldo, I think that's his name, right? Gotta choose Armaldo. Now, rock types, we got a couple heavy hitters. We got a Regice, we got a Armaldo, and we got an Aggron. Aggron, honestly, great design Pokemon. I feel like if it was stronger, it'd be a oh my, I don't even know, bro. Gotta pick Aggron though. Now for the ghost types in this generation, what I hated the most was fighting the Elite Four and getting hit with Curse on turn 1, automatically knocking out my top Pokemon. Automatically, I gotta choose Dusclops. This list is honestly pretty deep at Dragon type for this generation. We got a Salamence, we got a Flygon, we got 3 legends. What are we doing? My favorite Dragon type on this list is honestly also Rayquaza. It gotta be, man. Now for the dark types, you got a pretty decent list, bro, but I gotta go with that boy Sharpedo, bro. Rough skin ability and great ability. Now for steel types, I feel like there's really only 1 or 2 answers. We only got Registeel or Metagross. Gotta go Metagross. See, Mawile was broken and competitive for a very long time as soon as Mega Evolutions came into play, so I feel like you gotta give him its props, right? I feel like you can only choose Torchic or Mudkip here, but I gotta give it to Torchic. It's really one of the greatest starters of all time. Maybe the greatest starter of all time. Now for the gimmick forms, you really got a whole bunch of sauce here. Mega Rayquaza, honestly ridiculous Pokemon, but you gotta give it to Blaziken, bro. One of the greatest mons of all time, bro. What were they cooking when they made Gen 3 starters, bro? I don't know, but they need to do that again. Now the favorite legend from Gen 3. This legend list is kind of crazy. Got the elemental trio, you got a Space Meteor Man rock that I'm going to choose. I honestly loved Deoxys a lot when I was a kid, even though I never got to fight it or capture it. It was just the movie though. It was the movie. That movie with Rayquaza versus Deoxys, crazy movie. Now my favorite Pokemon from Generation 3. I honestly gotta say it's no brainer between Blaziken or Swampert. Rayquaza honestly comes in a close third for me, not gonna lie, but these two, they just backpack. They just really backpack. For it being my first Pokemon ever, I gotta choose Blaziken. I'm sorry, I have to. Generation 4, this is my all-time favorite generation. This is the generation I spent the most time on as well. Now I know a lot of you weirdos are gonna say Lopunny's your favorite normal type. We don't do that over here. But for normal type, you honestly gotta go Staraptor. You have to. There's no other option. Fire type, is there really another option? Come on, bro. Infernape. Now, water type, you could give it to somebody else here, but honestly, Empoleon, another banger. Grass type, do I need to say it again? Torterra, another banger. They were cooking when they made these 6 starters, bro. They were cooking. Electric type, you got a couple bangers in here, but for me personally, I gotta go Electivire. Definitely the best design. Ice type, we got a what? Honestly, if you look up the lore of a Frostlass, man, you're kind of gonna be sickened. Fighting type, what do we got here? Ooh, you see, I would have picked Infernape again if it wasn't for Gallade or Lucario. I'm going to give it to Lucario though, because Gallade's gonna come back in the list. For poison type, I honestly used a Roserade, so I'm going to pick Roserade. I used a Roserade on my playthrough. Now ground type, wow, this list is good. This is a really good list for ground types. This list of ground types is honestly really good, but I already picked Torterra, so I'm going to exclude him. But there's somebody that's going to come back on this list, so I'm going to pick Gliscor for now. Going to pick Gliscor. Flying types. Now for flying types, I was talking about potential earlier with Togetic. The potential has been fully realized and it has come into play. I'm going to pick Togekiss. Now for psychic type, I said I was saving Gallade for another time. Boom, you got to pick Gallade right there. Got to. Bug type, this list is honestly pretty weak, but I would choose Visqueen if it wasn't so hard to get a female Combi, so I'm going to pick Yanmega. This rock type list is honestly a couple of bangers, can't lie. I feel like I gotta give it to Rampardos though. Got to give it to Rampardos. Ghost type, this list had a couple of good bangers, not gonna lie. But for me personally, I gotta pick Big Boy Giratina. Gotta pick Giratina. Now dragon types. I know what you're thinking. There's 3 legendaries on it. Nah, there's honestly 4. Garchomp would be the #1 Mon if he wasn't nerfed. He would be the greatest of all time. He's up there for greatest of all time. He's top 2. He's not 2. This is my favorite Pokemon of all time. Garchomp. Oh my god. The impact that this man had for Cynthia's, not only Cynthia's team and my team in this generation. Generational. The amount of generational trauma that Cynthia's Garchomp put everybody through when we fought her. Oh my god, you can't make it up. You can't. It can't be replicated either. Now for dark types, I gotta give it a Darkrai. There's no other option, bro. It's even in his name, bro. He's obviously the best, right? Now for steel types, you got a pretty diverse list, not gonna lie. Got an Empoleon. I forgot this guy's name, but he's cool. I know for me personally, I never used Dialga, but like, it's okay, I guess. None of the Pokemon on the list I've honestly ever used besides like Lucario, so I'm going to choose him. Best fairy type from this generation, no brainer, Togekiss, no brainer. Now the starter, for me personally, all these starters are bangers, bro. I love looking at Torterra's design. I like Empoleon's design too, but you gotta go with the fire monkey, bro. Look at the flames coming out of bro's head. Now for the gimmick form, in all honesty, I don't like any of these, not gonna lie. I gotta give it to Lucario though, not gonna lie. All these gimmick, oh wait, look at Gallade. I might have to give it a Gallade real quick. Look at that form. Bro looks majestic. Now for my favorite legendary of this region, I'm not gonna lie, this generation introduced God himself, so I feel like it would be a sin to not pick him, feel me? Gotta go Arceus there. Now my favorite Pokemon from this generation had so many bangers. Gen 3, Gen 4, and Gen 5 I think was peak Pokemon. Has to be, right? My favorite Pokemon from this generation, one of the greatest of all time, truly, Garchomp. Gotta go with him. Now, Gen 5. Gen 5 I also spent a lot of time on. This was a good generation. I think these normal types are pretty solid, but I honestly gotta go with a Braviary here. Looks like the most physically imposing bird. That's a big bird. For fire types, there's not that much you can do here. But again, I gotta choose the fire type starter, Pignite. Emboar. There you go. It was an Emboar. Water types, not gonna lie, these are like kind of mid. Honestly, I'm starting to not like this generation Pokemon, because what are these, bro? What are these? I guess I'll choose Samurott, bro. Like, I guess grass types is the same, bro. These are all weak. Like, I don't like Serperior. I've never liked Serperior. I can't lie to you, I've never liked Serperior. I think I might go Virizion. I go Virizion for the grass type. I gotta go Virizion. Now for electric types, for me, I either go for Emolga or this guy for electric types, and I'm gonna choose this guy. I forgot its name. Electros, I'm pretty sure, right? Something like that. But this Pokemon honestly gave me a lot of problems when I had to face it. Ice types, terrible list. Gotta go Kyurem. Gotta go Kyurem. Fighting types. Okay, now see, we got a solid list right here. We got a solid list. We got all the legendary sword Pokemon. I think that's what they're called. I have no clue. But honestly, this might come as a shock to some of you. I gotta choose Girder, bro. This is like the first mid-evolution Pokemon I've chosen, right? Poison types. This list sucks. But because of how good Amoonguss is in competitive nowadays, bro, I gotta choose him. Got to. Now see, for ground types, this list is kind of solid, but honestly, I'm gonna pick Excadrill just because of how fast it is. is. It's very deceptively fast. Flying types, we got a decent list right here. We definitely do have a decent list, but I honestly got to give it to Archeops. I always loved this design and I wish I had one, but I never got one. Now for the bugs, honestly, I'm starting to not like Gen 5. I can't lie, this list is kind of bad. This list is kind of bad. I guess I give it to Volcarona or a Genesect here. I'm gonna give it to Volcarona. I've never used a Genesect before, so I'm gonna give it to Volcarona. Rock types, this list sucks, so I'm gonna just pick this turtle. He looks kind of cool. He looks like a dapper man. Ghost types, see the ghost types in this gen were kind of good. Confragigus is a cool Pokemon. Golurk is cool, but I'm gonna get a Chandelure. I'm gonna get a Chandelure. Now dragon types, see this dragon type list is kind of bangers. Gotta choose the pseudo legendary Hydreigon though. Gotta choose him. If you remember fighting Getsis, bro, as soon as he pulled out his Hydreigon, it was sweeper. It was over, bro. Now these dark types, they all honestly suck, so I'm gonna just go for a Zoroark. Nice little calm Pokemon. Steel type, I always liked this bug thing. I always liked this design, but like I never used it, so I'm gonna just choose this guy. I don't even remember his name. Fairy type, I don't even care. Like what is this, bro? What is this? Now for the starter, honestly, I gotta go Tepig just because it's a fire type, but honestly, these generation starters don't do anything for me. They really don't. Gimmick forms, I'm just going to skip it because what is this, bro? Like what is this? Now there's a lot of legendaries in this list, bro. There's a lot, but for me, I'm going to have to give it to Reshiram. It looks kind of angelic in a way. Thoughts? Now for my favorite Pokemon from this generation, there's honestly not a list of bangers to choose from, bro. These are a lot of mid mons, cannot lie. These are a lot of mid Pokemon. But honestly, if it wasn't for Hydreigon, I would choose Reshiram, but I have to choose Hydreigon. It's a better overall Pokemon. Now X and Y, I honestly did end up playing Pokemon X, so I do have some knowledge of this, but I don't know who anyone on the bottom of this is. They all like the same Pokemon. For this though, I'm gonna choose Mega Pidgey. That looks cool, right? Pidgeot, Pidgeotto. I don't even know what it is, bro, but it looks cool. Now for fire types, we got a Delphox, we got a Talonflame, Primal Groudon. See, these are a lot of good forms out of Pokemon that they're bringing back, and honestly, I like Talonflame more than the starter, which is crazy. Now water types, you gotta choose Greninja here. You gotta choose Greninja. The best starter in this generation by far, no question. Cause what is a Chestnut, bro? Like what, tell me what a Chestnut is, chat. Like thoughts, prayers? Like what is a Chestnut? See, honestly, on this list, I like Go-Goat, bro. No, not Go-Goat, I like Skiddo. I like Skiddo on this list. Skiddo's the best grass type in this generation. Especially when you just walk up to it in Violet and the little bro just be staring at you like, bro, I would love to have a Skiddo as a pet. Can't lie. Like these Pokemon. So these Pokemon are honestly terrible. I can't name a single one besides Dedenne or whatever, or however you pronounce it, so I'm just going to choose that little stupid ass Pikachu. Ice type, bro. Like what are we doing, bro? Like what, this sucks. I did use this thing in my playthrough. I forgot its name, but I did use this thing in my playthrough of X, so I'm going to choose it. Fighting type, you got a Chestnut, ugly. You got a, I forgot what that guy's name is. Berserker? No, it's not a Berserker. I'm stupid, but I like him though. He's cool. He's cool. You got Holocha. This list sucks, bro. This as soon as we got out of Generation 4, this list started to die off. Like these Pokemon are not bangers anymore. I'm gonna choose this big panda though. I'm gonna choose him. For poison types, you gotta go Dragalge. You gotta go Dragalge. One of the only bangers that came from this generation. Now for the legendaries, you got a Zygarde, a Steelix, a Swampert. Like this list sucks. I'm choosing Zygarde. Like, come on. There is a lot of flying types in this generation. Actually, most of them are the same thing, just different form. So I'm not even gonna worry about them. Honestly, I think I go with Ooh, Noivern's here. I didn't realize Noivern was here. Honestly, I've never used a Noivern. I don't care about Noivern. I'm choosing Talonflame again. Great Pokemon. Now for psychic types, what do we have here? I guess I'll choose Delphox or whatever it's called. I don't even know. I guess I'll choose him though. Bro has a magic wand. Like, what are we doing? Terrible starter. For bug type, bro, like I don't even know what these are. I'm gonna just choose Mega Beedrill, bro. They're like this X and Y list is terrible. Rock type, okay. I'm gonna choose the T-Rex. Since I already chose the ice one, I'm gonna choose the T-Rex. Bro's cool. Ooh, Aegislash. I forgot this man was in this generation. Absolute banger. Gotta go with Aegislash. Now for dragon type, the pseudo legendary of this generation was Goodra. So honestly, I'm just going to choose Goodra. I'm not gonna drag on these later generation Pokemon. Can't lie. Now for dark type, the only right answer is Greninja or Yveltal or whatever you call it. But I'm choosing Greninja. Now for steel type, gotta go Aegislash. Now for Aegislash, you gotta go the shield variation. This one, just because I picked the sword one. Now for fairy type, this is when fairies were first introduced. So I'm just going to go legendary. I forgot its name. I don't know how to pronounce it, but whatever. Now for the starters, I gotta go Greninja or Froakie, because like that's the only starter you would really want on your team long term, bro, because the other ones are terrible. Now for the gimmick forms, man, there's so much on this list, so I'm just going to close my eyes and move my mouse, and whichever one it lands on is one it lands on. Okay, Gyarados. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Now for the legends on this list, I wish I was able to change my Zygarde form when I played, but I only played it on an emulator, so that's probably why I wasn't able to. I don't know what this Volcano guy is. I have no clue about its lore, but I'm gonna pick Yveltal or whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I don't care either. This generation sucked. My favorite out of this generation, I'm going, ooh, Greninja or Aegislash. Damn, I'm gonna go Greninja because I'll still use a Greninja now. I don't have an Aegislash in Pokemon Violet. Now for generation 7, this is Pokemon Sun and Moon. You know, I like this toucan. I like the, oh, the woodpecker's annoying. I'm gonna go Kamalo though. Kamalo, whatever. Paulo the Koala. I'm gonna go Paulo the Koala right there. Paulo the Koala. Now for fire types, I don't think there's anything that needs to be said here. I really don't. Incineroar, come on now. Water type, I'm not like, what, like this starter, bro? Poplio, like come on, bro. Why make a Poplio? Why make Poplio a thing? You know, I have this Pokemon in Pokemon Violet, but I forgot its name. I'm going to choose it though. I don't like the starter in this generation, the water type at least. Now for grass, there's only one right answer, bro. You gotta go Decidueye. That's a great starter right there. Electric type, this list is kind of cool, kind of deep, but I gotta pick the Tapu. I gotta pick the Tapu right there. For ice type, it's really like not even a debate. You could go Sandslash, you could go Alolan Sandslash, but you gotta go Alolan Ninetales. There's no way you can choose anything else. Can't choose anything else. Now for fighting type, you got, like, look at Buzzwole, bro. Buzzwole, my guy, you look at that thing, it's going, like, you have to choose it, bro. It's going to beat you up if you don't. And the fact that there's more Buzzwole on its planet just makes it, like, what, bro? That's not the only one. Now for poison types, I'm going to choose this water poison type again. I forgot what its name is. I'm sorry, but I gotta choose it. Now for ground types, this list sucks, so I'm just going to pick the Sandcastle. It is what it is. For flying types, this looks kind of stupid. You got a whole bunch of Minior. You got Oricorio. I don't know what that thing is on the bottom. I'm pretty sure that's an Ultra Beast, but I think I picked Toucan Sam here. Thoughts, prayers? For psychic types, ooh, we got a good list right here. We got Necrozma, we got, I forgot what the moon one's called. We got Solgaleo. I'm gonna pick Solgaleo though. I like Solgaleo. I don't like any of these, so you just gotta go with Buzzwole, right? Gotta go with Buzzwole. You gotta go with the Swole. For the rock type, what do we have here? We got Lycanroc, a whole bunch of Minior, and a whole bunch of BS on the bottom. Like, bro's a pillar. Like, what? Bro's a column at a museum. Like, what are we doing? Honestly though, regular form Lycanroc looks kind of cool, so I'll just pick him. Ghost type, you gotta choose Decidueye or one of the legends, but there's no debate. If it was like, if the legends weren't here, it would be a no-brainer, but the only legend, like, man, Decidueye, bro. I'm sitting here yapping. Now for dragon type, I'm going to pick the pseudo legendary just because. Kamao, like, I like Kamao. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. Now for dark type, I'm gonna pick, I forgot what this guy's name is, bro. Pumpkin Ultra Beast. I know it. Guzzlord. It's Guzzlord. It's Guzzlord. Bro, first of all, pause. Second of all, I'm gonna pick Guzzlord. Pause. Steel type, gotta go Solgaleo again. Oh, wait, I forgot this is a legendary. Doesn't matter. It looks stupid. Solgaleo. Oh, actually, I'm gonna pick the Necrozma Solgaleo. Now for fairy type, oh, water and fairy. See, I didn't know it was a water and fairy. I didn't know the starter was a water and fairy, so that's actually pretty cool. I'm gonna choose it. I'm gonna choose it. Favorite starter from this generation. Oh, man. This is kind of difficult. Again, the starter I chose was the fire one, so I'm going to choose Layton. I'm sorry. Gimmick form, I honestly don't care about any of these, but I'm gonna choose Necrozma. That's Necrozma, right? Right? Fuck it, don't care. Now for the legends on this list, I'm gonna pick the moon. I already picked the sun. I already picked Necrozma. I'm gonna pick the moon. Now my favorite Pokemon from this generation, I gotta honestly say, it's either Buzzwole or Solgaleo. I'm gonna choose Solgaleo though. I want a Solgaleo in Pokemon Violet. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Now for Sword and Shield. Now for Sword and Shield, it's looking like it's including the Hisuian Pokemon. Yes, it is. So that's going to sway a lot of my opinions. Generation 8, let's get this started. I want to choose Hisuian Zoroark because that normal and ghost typing and the look of it looks cool. Now for fire types, man, Cinderace was one of the best competitive. Oh my god, they have Arcanine here. This is difficult. Now this version of Typhlosion did revive it, bro. I like the ghost. I like the little bead necklace. He's looking pretty fly, I can't lie. I'm going to choose Cinderace just because I haven't used Hisuian, Growlithe, or Arcanine. Just because I haven't used them. I don't know yet. But Cinderace, great competitive Pokemon. Water type. Oh my goodness, we got a list on us, don't we? Oh wow, this is honestly a no-brainer. You gotta go with Urshifu. You gotta go with Urshifu. I forgot all about Urshifu. Now for grass type, you got Rillaboom, you got Flapple. This is a nice list. Ooh, I'm going Hisuian Decidueye though, right? thoughts? Electric types. This list looks terrible, so I'm just going to go Regieleki. Very fast mon, very fast. Now for the ice types, we got Spectre. No, that's not Spectre, that's Glacier. You got this goofy ass penguin. So honestly, I'm gonna just pick Glacier. Like, I'm gonna just pick Glacier. I'm not stressing over this. For fighting types, there's little you can do to make Decidueye originally, like the original Decidueye, there's little you can do to make it better. Now make it a fighting type, you automatically made it better, but you do also have Urshifu here. So, you know, this is hard. So I don't know which one I'm going to choose. I don't like Zamazenta that much, I'm not gonna lie. I don't. Why is Farfetch holding a cigarette? What? You know what? Instead of both of those, I'm gonna just choose Cubfu, just so you have the option to evolve into which Urshifu you want. I'm gonna choose Cubfu. For poison types, this list looks trash. I'm gonna just pick Eternatus though. Eternatus looks crazy. Ground types, there's not that much going for them, so I'm gonna just choose Ursaluna. I'm about to get the Blood Moon Ursaluna as well, also in Violet, which is cool. For flying type, you got a Corviknight. That's a great mon. Corviknight is just great mons. Oh, you also got the legendary bird trio back again. Okay. Honestly, I'm gonna choose this Moltres. This Moltres looks really good. Psychic type, I honestly don't know any of these, not gonna lie. I'm gonna pick Calyrex though. I'm gonna pick Calyrex. Mid-mon, but I'm gonna choose them. These bug types suck. Ooh, Cleavor. I didn't know Cleavor was a bug type. I'm gonna choose Cleavor. Now for the rock types, I'm also, Hisuian Arcanine. I didn't know it was a rock type, not gonna lie. Ghost type, we got, oh yeah, this is a no diff. This is a really no diff. Okay, Bastion is also good. Bastion is a very good Pokemon, but you can't go wrong with a Dragapult, bro. Can't go wrong with a Dragapult. Dragon type, okay, there's more comp in this list. See, now for dragon types, this is a pretty solid list, you can't lie. You got the origin forms for Dialga and Palkia. You got the Applin in its evolution line. It's kind of solid. But to save me the time, I'm gonna just choose Dragapult again. Back to back banger. Dark type, okay, Grimmsnarl's a good Pokemon, I can't lie. You also got Urshifu, the dark type. Got Moltres, Moltres and Samurai. I'm gonna choose Moltres again, not gonna lie. The black with the red flames looks so good on that Pokemon. For the steel type, I honestly, Zacian. I'm gonna choose Zacian. Very good Pokemon, very high attack stat. For the fairy type, okay, I didn't know Zacian was a fairy too. It's fairy steel. Oh nah, that's broken. I'm choosing Zacian again. Now for the starter, okay. These are cool starters, except for Inteleon, or whatever it's called. I didn't realize that Legends Arceus was still a part of Generation 8. See, I didn't know that. I thought it wasn't going to be on this list because I thought it would be like its own game section. Now you see, I like Raboot a lot. I'm gonna choose Raboot just because he has a little hoodie on. Yeah, I'm gonna choose Raboot. Gimmick form, there's so many of them, but I'm gonna choose Gigantamax Cinderace just because. Look at it, bro. He's standing on a fireball, bro. What do you want? He's so drippy. Like, what do you want? Now, the favorite legend from these two generations. This is a pretty decent list. Regieleki, Regidrago, pretty good mons. Those are two good Regimons. But just because I can still use it and still do use it, I'm going to choose Urshifu water type. Very good, very good. Now my favorite from these two generations as a whole, wow, there's some pretty good Pokemon on this list. I wouldn't say Urshifu is my favorite. I'm just going to say I use him because of his damage output and like his high combative strength, bro. He's just so good. But honestly, I gotta give it to Hisuian Arcanine. I've never used them on before. I'm going to though. Now for the last generation, we got Generation 9, which is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Kicking it off with the normal types, who do we have here? I'm going to say, Blood Moon Ursaluna's there. Honestly, I'm gonna give it to Cyclizar just because he's the ancestor or the descendant of the two legendaries. I like him though. Weird enough, I've never even used one. Boom, now for fire type. This one for me can go either way. It can either go Ceruledge or Armarouge, but I gotta give it to Ceruledge. Ceruledge really backpacked my team for the first two playthroughs I've done. Now for the water type. Oh yeah, this is a no-brainer for me. You gotta go Palafin Hero Form. Palafin Hero Form, if you can set him up properly, crazy stats. 650 base stats once you get him back in. Crazy. Oh my god, he's just so good. Now for the grass type, I think I do go with Meowscarada here. This is my starter. This is the starter I chose, which is kind of crazy to me. One of the first ever, but I've looked up what they looked like and I was like, I don't even know. I didn't like Skeledirge. I don't like that zesty ass duck either. So I chose Meowscarada. I got it. Now for electric type, you got a good list. I didn't know Iron Thorns was electric. That's kind of What? Is he? Oh, that's kind of crazy. I didn't know that. Now you got Miraidon, you got Iron Hands. See who I use more? I use Iron Hands more, so I gotta go with Iron Hands. Ice type, you don't got a deep list here, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna pick the legend though. I'm gonna pick the legend. Now for fighting type, this is kind of a good list. Iron Valiant is so good, bro. And it's shiny. Oh my god. Iron Valiant shiny looks so good, man. Look at it, bro. All these shinies look good. All the Gen 9, this is 9, right? Yeah, all the Gen 9 shinies look really good. I'm gonna go with Koraidon. Just because I feel like Iron Valiant is gonna make a comeback. Now for the poison type, I don't really have a favorite with any of these. I haven't used Petcheron yet. I haven't started the quest, so I'm gonna just go Clodsire. Look at Clodsire, man, so inspirational. Now for the ground type, I honestly, okay. This is a pretty good list. Sandy Shocks or Great Tusk. I honestly gotta go Great Tusk here. Great Tusk looks so good. I like its design. For the flying types, you don't have that much of a list, so I'm just going to go Iron Jugulus. Psychic types. Now, I'm kind of happy I didn't choose Armarouge at first, so now I can choose Armarouge. Great Pokemon. Now for the bug types, okay, I like Rapska, but Spidops, bro, getting mugged by, bro, Spidops be pulling up on you and stancing up, like, bro, he be ready. Now for the rock types, I gotta go Glamora here, can't lie. Ghost types, there's a lot of good ghost type mons. Oh, I forgot about my boy. Gotta go Gimmighoul. Top tier mon. Dragon types, what do we have here? We got a good list of bangers for the dragon types. Honestly, I'm going to pick Roaring Moon just because I gotta pick Roaring Moon. For the dark type mons, okay, we also have a good list here. If I'm going based off pure looks alone for this one, I gotta go King Gambit. Steel types, you got a Tinkaton, you got a King Gambit, or you gotta go Dingo. Gotta go with the Dingo. I said gimme go for this one too. I meant go Dingo. I know what it is. Fairy types. Oh, I didn't even realize that Fluttermane was going to be here. It just completely slipped my mind that Fluttermane would be here. But I gotta give it to, I don't use Iron Valiant though. Both of these are really good. I honestly want them equally, but just off the fact that I have a shiny Iron Valiant, I'm going to choose Iron Valiant. But both of these are equal, so I'm choosing both of them, but I can only click one, so I'm going to click Iron Valiant. Now for the starter of this generation, I'm pretty sure it's a no-brainer. I picked Sprigatito, so I'm going to choose Sprigatito again. Gimmick form, there's gimmick forms? Ew. Okay, I'm gonna choose the terrestrialized Terrapagos. It's not nice and calm. Now for the legends of this region, pretty mid list, I cannot lie. But the only one that I use regularly in my party is Koraidon, so I'm going to choose Koraidon. Now for my favorites of this generation, it's been a good list, bro. I have a lot of favorites from this generation. Like, this generation has a lot of my favorite Pokemon. Not gonna lie, I'm very happy that they came up with good concepts and good ideas for new Pokemon. But out of all these, the one and only I gotta say I give it to as my favorite from Generation 9 is that boy Gholdengo. My favorite, bro. My favorite. Now, all of my favorites in each typing from each generation right here. This is what we're doing. My favorite normal type of all. Honestly, this list is kind of a bunch of whack mons, not gonna lie. Okay, Staraptor's here. I'm gonna choose Staraptor. Now, my fire type. See, this is pivotal, bro. A lot of these are bangers. A lot of these are really bangers. Definitely not going to be generic and say Charizard. I feel like if I think about my favorite fire type Pokemon, what does a fire type Pokemon really have to be? Like, for me, I like fire types that have the ability to absorb fire type attacks. Like, for me, there's no reason why Typhlosion and Infernape should not be able to, and Emboar, I forgot he has flames coming off him. Like, if you have flames coming off of you, I feel like you should absorb fire type attacks. And the only one on this list that I know of that actually absorbs fire type attacks is Ceruledge. I can't lie. I don't know if I'm wrong about that, but Ceruledge, I like that. And it boosts his own move. I like Ceruledge. I really like Ceruledge. Water types. See, this is a good list as well. You got a Blastoise for Alligator, Swampert, and this is a really good list. All these starters are honestly bangers, and then you got Urshifu and Palafin. Just because of his unique ability, I'm going to choose Palafin, but if it were anything else, I'd honestly choose Swampert. Honestly, I like Swampert more. If it didn't take Palafin all the setup, I'm going to choose Swampert. If Palafin didn't require all that setup, it would definitely be Palafin. Now for grass type, I feel like this is a no-brainer for me. I gotta go Torterra. Not gonna lie, I gotta go Torterra. Electric type, my favorite electric type of all time. Now for electric types, who is my favorite electric type of all time? Honestly, I feel like one of the best designed here is Electivire. I really like Electivire, so I'm going to choose Electivire. I feel like if you looked at Electivire, you'd really think that's a final evolution. Like, yo, bro, that's a really solid, beefy mon. Pause. Now for ice types, there's not much going for the ice types. I cannot lie. I feel like if I chose Lapras, that'd be like a generic answer, but honestly, none of these Pokemon really do anything for me besides Lapras, especially the shiny Lapras. Shiny Lapras looks so good. For me, it would honestly be between Lapras and Kyurem, but I gotta give it to Lapras more, not gonna lie. Now, my favorite fighting type of all time, not gonna lie, my favorite fighting type of all time, if I'm going off of pure fighting types and not dual type bias, I gotta give it, man, oh wow, this is pretty difficult. If I'm going for the functionality and I'm using it as a fighting type, honestly, I gotta give it to Lucario here. I would, like, Machamp is a second, but everybody else is basically a dual type, not gonna lie. I mean, Lucario's also a dual type, but I use that as a fighting type Pokemon. Now for poisons. Now these poison types are honestly not that good, but the only one I've religiously used on a team is Roserade, and I actually do like Roserade, so I'm choosing Roserade. Ground types. This ground type list is a pretty solid list of mons. Now I have not used Ursaluna, and I really do like Gliscor. So for me, my favorite ground type of all time is really Gliscor. Wow, I'm learning a lot about myself today. Now for my favorite flying type, I honestly think this is a no-brainer for me. I gotta go Togekiss. Gotta go Togekiss. Great mon. Now psychic types. My favorite psychic type Pokemon. Yeah, I think the only right answer here for me is Mewtwo, not gonna lie. The only right answer for me is Mewtwo. Now we move on over to bug types, and honestly, I like this list, but no bug type, like, just because it's a bug, like, you don't stand out to me, bro. I gotta say it's Scizor just off of design, but like, you don't really use bug types in battle, right? But I gotta go with Scizor there. Now for rock type, I don't really pay attention to rock types, not gonna lie. I have not used many rock types in any playthroughs whatsoever. I honestly gotta say Tyranitar never really did anything for me. I can't lie. I never really used rock type. Okay, I might go Rampardos here. Just because I've never used a Hisuian Arcanine, I'm going to go with Rampardos. Now for my favorite ghost type. See, ghost types are really good, bro. Giratina, man. The nostalgia that Giratina brings me. I might go, like, I don't want to be like recency biased because a good number of the Pokemon on my favorite list already are from Gen 9, right? Looking at this list, it's only between Giratina and Guldengo. And I feel like Giratina, you catch him, okay, he's born strong. Like, it's a legendary Pokemon. He's born strong. He doesn't have to do anything. The grind it takes to get 1,000 Gimmighoul coins just so you can evolve one Gimmighoul into Guldengo. Guldengo's ability is definitely better than Giratina's. Good as gold, just does not let your stats get lowered, which is great. I gotta go with Guldengo here. Not gonna lie, my favorite ghost type is Guldengo, but second is definitely Giratina. Now on to the dragon types. See, dragons are definitely one of my favorite typing of all time. Definitely favorite. I don't think I need to say much. I honestly don't think I need to say much. It's one of my favorite Pokemon of all time for sure. We gotta go Garchomp here. Now for my favorite dark type, honestly, none of these really do anything for me. I never had the luxury of actually using a Darkrai. See, a hidden ability Kingambit could be really nice if you have him last on your team. Out of all these Pokemon on this list, I've honestly used Kingambit the most. So I think I do have to go with Kingambit here. I can't, like, I don't know. Now for the favorite steel types, not gonna lie, steel type mons have been very mid over time, but they have gotten better recently. I gotta go with Metagross here, not gonna lie. Pseudo legendary, one of the pseudo legendaries of Generation 3, banger. Now for the fairies, the fairy type Pokemon. Now if we think about the offensive capabilities of a fairy type oh, I gotta go Zacian, right? Fairy and Steel, definitely the best typing combination, offensively and defensively. Yeah, I gotta go Zacian. Now, my favorite starter of all time. This is a good one. Now, for me personally, this is just my favorite starter. This isn't the best starter. This is my favorite starter. I gotta go with Chimchar. My favorite starter is Chimchar. Chimchar, Monferno, Infernape. I had to have those three. I had to have them at the head of the helm, bro. My favorite gimmick form, I don't really care about this. I'm gonna just go Blaziken, get it out the way. Now, my favorite legend, bro. My favorite legend? What are we doing here? My favorite legend? Who's my favorite legend? I really feel like this is a no diff. I feel like I'm gonna choose Arceus just because he's God, just because he has the power. Now we've come to the very last Pokemon. Out of all favorites, who is the favorite of all favorites? I feel like this list right here is a really good list of solid Pokemon. Out of all these Pokemon that I'm looking at right here on this list, there's only a couple of them that actually do something for me, bro. When I look at Guldengo, I look and I just be like, wow, this is really a good, cool Pokemon. Unique way to evolve it, unique looking Pokemon. If you take Guldengo out of its ball in Pokemon Violet or Scarlet, bro, it rides around on a gold coin surfboard, bro. It's so cool. But honestly, like I said earlier in the video, I gotta give it to the #1 greatest of all time, Garchomp, man. Garchomp is my overall favorite Pokemon of all time. There's a couple of Gen 9s that come close. Gholdengo is definitely a close second. Might be a close second. But if I'm just talking about what I think about when I like, if I think about these Pokemon and what the impact they had, I still remember Cynthia's Garchomp to this day. The impact that her Garchomp had really scarred people for generations. But yeah, guys, this is my list of favorite Pokemon of each generation and of each typing. This is definitely a longer video. I definitely did not expect this to be this long. Actually, I guess I should do these things down here. I'm gonna try my hardest to speedrun this just so I don't waste a lot of time. I'm gonna try to do this one take, no cuts. Favorite regional bird? Starly. Favorite mammal? Don't care about any of these. I guess I'll go Zigzagoon. Favorite regional bug? Let's go with none of them. I like this guy just because he evolves on the spot ops. Pseudo legendary, easy. Favorite of all time, Garchomp. Pikachu clone. I say Palmo. This evolution line just because of its shiny. It's nice. It's a nice pink color. Favorite evolution. Out of all these, I think I gotta go with Jolteon, can't lie. Favorite fossil, Rampardos. Favorite regional form, none of these to be honest, but I gotta say Galarian Moltres, that's a good one. Favorite Gigantamax, I don't like any of these. Again, I'll choose Cinderace though, again, just because he's on a fireball. Favorite baby Pokemon, Togepi, easy. Favorite box legend, I don't really like any of these, but if I had to choose a favorite box legend, I'd have to go with Rayquaza. Gotta go with Rayquaza. For favorite mythical Pokemon, I gotta say it's honestly between Arceus or Deoxys, and I'm gonna choose Deoxys. Favorite Ultra Beast, for sure, Buzzwole, easy Pokemon choice. Favorite Paradox Pokemon, I gotta choose either Koraidon, Iron Hands, or Roaring Moon. But I'm going to choose Roaring Moon just off its design, but uses I like the other two better. Favorite typing, gotta go either fire or dragon here. I gotta go fire though. For my favorite Pokeball, I gotta go with either a Beast Ball or a Master Ball, just off the look, but off functionality, I'm gonna go off Master Ball. It's a one take Drake. Favorite Vivillon, I don't care about this. I'm gonna just choose that one. Favorite Alcremie, pause. I'm gonna choose this white one though. Why is there a section within a section? I'm gonna choose the white and orange. Good. Now, favorite new Evo. Okay, see, through all of these, you can choose Annihilate, you can choose King Gambit. Damn, I really gotta go Togekiss here. Favorite Spinda, I don't care about randomizing this. I don't even know what this means. And yeah, I'm just not gonna build a team. If you made it to the end of this, I really appreciate you. Drop a comment of some of your favorite Pokemon. What do you think of my list? If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. And if you're new here and you end up hearing this, if you end up hearing me saying this, you need to subscribe, bro. You stayed here for a long while. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but you've been here for a long time. If you watch this video and you are a new person coming to this channel, you might as well subscribe, bro. I upload whenever. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.